Can dogs see ghosts? Very interesting topic, entertaining too. I'm not a great entertainer. So I could be if I want to, but I elect not to do that. That's not my business. Mine is somewhat serious. That's why I am into religion and God. Now, can God, dogs get? There is there is a relationship between God and dogs, at least in the Indian tradition. And I will come to that in a little bit. I got this topic from the Reader's Digest magazine. The article was somewhere on the TV that I saw. I got inspired. I read the article. The article says that dogs can really see things that we cannot see. On low light, they can see things that human eyes cannot see. That's one thing. And of course, the smell, everybody knows this. Dogs can smell better than we do. That's why we use dogs in airports and other places. And they also in detectives use it to trace the smell of a burglar or a drug. All these can be done by dogs smelling. The most interesting thing in that article was this woman was talking about the strange behavior of her dog. Her husband died, and the dog will go and sit on the chair the husband used to sit. And it kept doing it for several years. She was wondering why the dog was very close to the husband and to her. And she concluded that the dog was able to see the husband's spirit visiting the house. Or she interpreted it in another way, that is, the husband, when he was in body, had a certain energy or smell that he left, and that is still was available to the dog, so that the dog and kept going to the chair and sleeping in the chair of the husband. There are so many things about animals that we do not know. It's not by mistake that I was using the word dog and God, and my mind was not involved, but somehow the expression came, and then the spelling is very close too, and then they're only differently arranged the alphabets. In the Indian tradition, God is worshipped as Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth. And strangely enough, in India, the people who have dogs are wealthy people, except in certain cases, in villages, people have it as watchdogs. But in urban areas, the dogs are kept only by wealthy people. And the more money you have, the more dogs you have. I was visiting uh, a multi-billionaire in Europe, and he had his own security and everything. And when I went to his house, it's like 100 acres or so in the land, the billionaire was playing with his dogs. How many dogs? He had about 50 or so. There is something between the dogs and prosperity, and that's why they are connected to Lakshmi. I've read some scriptures on that. That's one thing. And I'm not going to go into Greek literature and dogs, and you can do it by yourself by looking at what the mythologies say about dogs. And I'm particularly interested in the dog and this god called Bhairava. This I know personally well. Bhairava is a god who is a protector god. There are different kinds of Bhairavas. There are 64 of them. And then one particular Bhairava I'm interested in is the Bhairava who is connected to time. And he lives in his own galaxy, according to the Indian mythological traditions. He lives in his own galaxy and he manufactures, so to say, time for different galaxies. For instance, the time moves very slow on the Earth plane, but whereas in different galaxies, time moves very fast. And they usually say what 360 days is just only one day in one of the heavens. And who is responsible for that? It's the god called Bhairava. I used to teach Shiva Sutra, in which there is a mantra called Udyamo Bhairava. At some point, I will teach Shiva Sutra. Then I will explain that to you because it will take a long time to explain that. Which means instantaneous manifestation comes with this Kala Bhairava. Kala means time, and this Bhairava is able to manipulate time, compress time, so that things can happen very fast. I recently met a guy, Siddha, not recently, but I knew him a long time, but I became closer to him about a year ago. And this guy built a temple for Kalabhai. A very small temple, very humble. But a very powerful one because all the dogs come and then sleep with the statue. I've seen that. Not only in his place, but I have seen it in several of the temples. This statue of Bhairava attracts dogs. And he has also, he always is accompanied by a dog. Even in a statue form, there is this Kala Bhairava's anthropomorphic form. And then along with it, they will have the statue of a dog also. So the whole idea of Kalabhairava is that he can compress time. If something is going to happen, say after 5 years, and if you want to have them happen sooner, then we will have to go and pray to Kalabhairava. And especially when you get a very powerful priest, that will be the best way to do. So I will talk about Kalabhairava. There is a Bhairava which is associated with gold. And I wanted to put all these things in perspective and in the back against the background of something that can be understood more thoroughly with sciences, but I don't think I can do that now. But it's good that this topic inspired me, that how the dogs can be of help to us and also give us an understanding of time. God bless.